Every man believes he's strong until the world tests him, until the deal collapses, the betrayal hits, the people he trusted turn their backs. That's when you see who's truly powerful, not the one who wins when it's easy, but the one who keeps walking through fire without flinching. Machiavelli understood this kind of strength. He watched rulers lose everything, not because they lacked armies or wealth, but because they lacked control of themselves. The world broke them from the inside out. Their emotions cracked before their empires did. And once the mind bends, everything else follows. The unbreakable man, Machiavelli would say, is not fearless, he is disciplined. He feels the same chaos as everyone else, but he doesn't move until it serves him. He doesn't beg for fairness. He doesn't pray for comfort. He studies pain the way a strategist studies the battlefield. He learns from it. He uses it. Because strength isn't built through comfort, it's built through confrontation. Every obstacle, every insult, every loss is a test asking one question. Can you stay composed when others panic? Can you hold your form when the world demands you crumble? That's the Machiavellian mindset. It's not about pretending to be emotionless, it's about mastering emotion so completely that nothing outside of you decides your fate. It's about turning suffering into strategy, betrayal into leverage, and isolation into focus. Most people run from pressure. The unbreakable man runs toward it. He knows that every hardship sharpens him, every storm polishes him, every test reveals a truth. That power doesn't belong to the strongest or the loudest, it belongs to the one who cannot be broken. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to build that mind. You'll learn how to turn setbacks into fuel, how to command emotion instead of serving it, and how to become the kind of person no betrayal, no failure, no chaos can shatter. Because in the end, the unbreakable man doesn't escape pain, he commands it. And the world bows to those who can endure what others can't. Let's begin. Before a man can become unbreakable, he must first learn to rule himself. That's where all power begins, not in armies, not in influence, not in money, but in control of one's own reactions. Machiavelli saw this truth clearly. He observed that the downfall of great men rarely came from outside forces. It came from within. From anger, pride, fear, vanity, the invisible assassins that strike long before the enemy does. The mind, he wrote, is both the fortress and the battlefield. If you cannot defend it, no army can save you. If you master it, no force can conquer you. Every weakness begins as emotion ungoverned. The man who reacts to insult with rage reveals his strings. The one who takes every slight personally becomes easy to provoke. The one who seeks constant reassurance becomes a puppet to those who grant or withhold it. You see this everywhere. People controlled by their moods, their screens, their fears. They call it stress, burnout, overthinking, but it's really enslavement. To build inner control, you must treat emotion the way a ruler treats an ambitious general, with respect, but never with trust. Listen to it, but never obey it blindly. The disciplined man does not suppress emotion. He studies it, tracks its origin, then decides if it deserves his attention. Start here. When something angers you, pause. When something scares you, pause. That pause is where power lives. The world trains you to react instantly, to comment, to argue, to defend, but every reaction is a leak of control. The unbreakable man is slow to respond and quick to observe. Machiavelli believed fortune favored those who could act deliberately, not emotionally. He called it virtù, the power to bend chaos toward your will. That's the essence of inner control, to see clearly while others drown in their own impulses. But this discipline requires sacrifice. You must give up the comfort of always expressing how you feel. You must become immune to provocation. The world will call you cold, detached, emotionless. Let them. They mistake your calm for emptiness because they cannot imagine strength without noise. Control is not the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of it. When others are swept away by their emotions, you stand like a mountain in the storm. When others complain about injustice, you calculate your next move. When others despair, you adapt. And that adaptability, born from control, is what makes you indestructible. The first victory is always over yourself, because once you rule your mind, you rule your world, and no betrayal, no insult, no chaos can take that from you. Every man suffers. The weak see pain as punishment. The strong see it as the raw material of transformation. Machiavelli understood this distinction well. He wrote that a ruler who cannot endure hardship is unfit to command, because pain is not the enemy, it's the training ground. It reveals who you are when comfort is gone and the illusion of safety burns away. The unbreakable man doesn't seek a painless life. He seeks a powerful mind. He doesn't pray for an easier path. He trains to walk harder ones. Every insult, every failure, every loss becomes a lesson in self-control. The moment you start asking, "Why me?" you surrender to weakness. The moment you ask, "What can this teach me?" you take back your crown. Pain exposes the truth of your priorities. It shows what you actually care about, not what you say you care about. The man who loses money and falls apart was never chasing purpose, he was chasing comfort. The one who loses people and loses himself was never grounded in principle, he was grounded in attachment. Pain strips you down to what's real. What remains after that process is your strength. Machiavelli advised rulers to prepare for misfortune as if it were inevitable, because it is. Fortune, he wrote, shows her power where there is no prepared virtue to resist her. He knew that pain breaks those who expect fairness from the world. It forges those who expect nothing and adapt to everything. To turn pain into power, you must stop seeing it emotionally and start seeing it strategically. Each hardship has information buried within it. Failure shows you your limits. Betrayal shows you who's loyal only when convenient. Loss teaches detachment. Criticism teaches humility or exposes insecurity. Pain is feedback from reality, and the Machiavellian mind is obsessed with information. The difference between the unbreakable and the broken is not that one suffers and the other doesn't, it's that one suffers with purpose. The broken man drowns in pain because he believes it's happening to him. The unbreakable man swims through pain because he knows it's happening for him. But there's a warning here. You cannot romanticize suffering. Endurance without adaptation is stupidity. Pain is meant to teach, not to torture. When it stops teaching, it's time to move on. The lesson of ruthlessness still applies here. Feel what you must, but never linger. The longer you cling to pain, the more it becomes identity instead of instruction. When you reframe pain as a weapon, you stop flinching from life. You walk into pressure the way a general walks into battle, with clarity, with readiness, with the understanding that every wound endured consciously becomes armor. The unbreakable man does not fear hardship. He courts it. He knows that every scar on his body or his mind marks another place that will never break again. Pain doesn't reduce him, it refines him. It shapes him into something rarer than strength. It shapes him into inevitability. To be unbreakable, you must learn the art of detachment not from life, but from the illusions that weaken most men. Machiavelli understood that a ruler who clings to emotion loses clarity, and clarity is the first requirement of power. The world belongs to those who can think while others drown in feeling. Emotional detachment is not coldness, it is control. It means seeing everything betrayal, praise, victory, defeat through the same calm lens. It means never allowing joy to make you careless or pain to make you blind. It means refusing to be governed by any reaction that does not serve your purpose. Most men are slaves to their emotions and don't even know it. They chase what excites them, avoid what scares them, and call it freedom. But what kind of freedom is that, when every feeling pulls your strings? The Machiavellian man feels deeply but acts deliberately. He uses emotion as a weapon, not as a master. Consider how easily people reveal their weakness. A few words of criticism, and they crumble. A bit of flattery, and they open their defenses. The one who praises them becomes a friend. The one who challenges them becomes an enemy. Their loyalty shifts with their feelings. Such men are predictable, and predictability is the death of power. Detachment gives you distance, and distance gives you vision. When you step back from emotion, you can see patterns others miss. You begin to notice how people try to manipulate you through guilt, pity, admiration, or anger, and the moment you see it, it stops working. They can't control what they can't move. This is why detachment is the greatest shield a man can carry. It protects your peace from insult, your focus from distraction, your will from corruption. When the world pushes you, you no longer push back, you let it exhaust itself. You become still, and in that stillness lies the advantage. Machiavelli wrote that a wise ruler must learn to act against mercy, faith, and humanity when necessary to preserve his state. That's not a call to cruelty, it's a call to control. A man ruled by compassion alone will be destroyed by those ruled by ambition. A man ruled by fear will be paralyzed. The balance comes from detachment, knowing when to feel and when to ignore. Train yourself to see emotion as weather. It passes, it shifts. It cannot define you unless you stand still under it. When anger rises, let it burn itself out before you act. When sadness comes, watch it. Don't drown in it. When joy tempts you to boast, remember that pride is the leash your enemies will use. Detachment is not withdrawal from life, it is mastery of it. The unbreakable man does not stop feeling. He stops leaking power through feeling. He can walk through chaos and remain centered. He can love without dependence, fight without hatred, win without arrogance, and lose without despair. That is what separates him from the masses. They live on the surface of their emotions. He lives beneath them, calm and unmovable. And because nothing can shake him, he commands everything around him. The unbreakable man does not think like everyone else. His mind is a weapon, sharpened, ordered, and deliberately tuned for power. Machiavelli believed that every downfall begins in thought long before it appears in action. To him, a weak ruler was first a weak thinker, confused, impulsive, reactive. Strength of mind, he knew, must be trained like a soldier before it is tested like a king. Most people do not think, they react. They mistake noise for insight, speed for progress. Their minds are cluttered with distractions, opinions, fears, impulses, desires. They cannot hold a single thought long enough to understand it, much less use it strategically. The unbreakable man is different. He disciplines his thinking, the way a general disciplines his army. Every idea must serve a function. Every belief must earn its place. Mental discipline begins with awareness. What enters your mind becomes the material from which you build your life. Feed it garbage, and your decisions rot. Feed it clarity, and your path sharpens. The Machiavellian mind filters relentlessly. It asks of every thought, does this strengthen me or weaken me? Does this idea make me more effective or more emotional? Most people never ask such questions. They drown in their own unexamined noise. Machiavelli's great advantage was observation. He watched human nature without judgment. He studied the motives of men as a scientist studies phenomena. He didn't waste energy on how things should be, only how they are. That's the essence of disciplined thought. Seeing the world clearly, without illusion, without the haze of emotion or moral confusion. The disciplined thinker does not chase optimism or sink into despair. He deals in facts, probabilities, and strategy. He plans for betrayal because he knows it's part of the game. He expects hardship because it's the price of progress. He prepares not because he fears, but because he refuses to be surprised. To train your mind, you must starve it of indulgence. Cut the noise, stop feeding it with the chaos of constant stimulation. Every scroll, every argument, every meaningless opinion you absorb weakens your command of thought. Replace noise with observation. Watch people, watch patterns, study silence. That's where strategy is born. And above all, think slowly. The modern mind is addicted to speed, but speed without depth is chaos. The unbreakable man gives himself time to understand before acting, to dissect before deciding. His thoughts are deliberate, and because of that, his actions are lethal. When others react, he calculates. When others speak, he listens. When others panic, he plans. His discipline of thought makes him unshakable, not because he knows everything, but because he knows how to think through anything. The world respects results, not excuses. And behind every result, every victory, every rise to dominance is a thought that was shaped, sharpened, and executed with precision. The unbreakable man lives there, in that silent process, long before anyone else sees what he's building. His strength is not just in endurance, it's in clarity, because a man who can think clearly in chaos already has half the victory before he moves. Nothing exposes weakness faster than change. The moment the ground shifts, most men crumble, clinging to old plans, old certainties, old illusions. But the unbreakable man understands a truth Machiavelli wrote centuries ago. Fortune favors those who can bend without breaking. Adaptation is not surrender, it's evolution. Machiavelli watched kingdoms fall because rulers tried to rule yesterday's world. They trusted what once worked, blind to the fact that time had turned their strengths into liabilities. A prince who relies solely on what succeeded before, he warned, will fall when the world changes. Power belongs not to the rigid, but to the fluid, to those who can transform without losing direction. Adaptation begins with humility. You must accept that control is an illusion. The world will not bend to your plans. Circumstances shift, people change, systems collapse. The unbreakable man doesn't resist this truth, he uses it. He reads change like weather, adjusts his sails, and continues forward while others drown, clinging to yesterday's map. To adapt, you must detach from identity. Most men are not broken by events, they're broken by the destruction of how they saw themselves. The businessman who can't imagine life after failure, the lover who can't function after rejection, the leader who loses power and crumbles, each was attached to an image, not to purpose. The Machiavellian mind attaches to results, not roles. It can play any part, wear any mask, take any form, as long as it moves closer to victory. Adaptation also demands observation. The unbreakable man studies his environment the way a predator studies the herd. He sees shifts in mood, tone, power, timing. When the weak are frozen by uncertainty, he adjusts instantly. This speed comes from awareness, not luck. He trains his senses to read signs before others even notice them. Most people resist change because it exposes their lack of control. They confuse consistency with safety, but safety is death in disguise. The unbreakable man thrives in flux because he's built for it. His mind is flexible, his ego light, his focus absolute. He can pivot from strategy to strategy without emotional collapse. That's why he wins. Think of water it yields to every obstacle, yet erodes mountains over time. It never resists directly, but it never stops moving. That's the essence of Machiavellian adaptability, persistence disguised as surrender. The unbreakable man flows through situations, always in control of his direction, even when he changes his path. To achieve this, practice letting go of plans, of people, of certainties. The world rewards those who can begin again without losing confidence. Each ending is only fatal to those who mistake it for defeat. To the unbreakable, it's merely transformation. Adaptation is the final proof of strength, because anyone can hold their form when the world stands still. But when the ground shifts, when allies betray, when fortune reverses, only the adaptable keep rising. They are not defined by what happens to them, but by how quickly they can become someone new. That's what Machiavelli meant by surviving fortune's cruelty. The world breaks those who resist it. But the ones who flow through change, the ones who can burn, rebuild, and rise sharper each time, those are the ones it cannot touch. Every empire begins in silence. Before the first conquest, before the first move, there is solitude, a place where a man must confront himself, without distraction, without comfort, without noise. Most people can't handle that silence. They run from it because it exposes how dependent they've become on the world's validation. But the unbreakable man understands that solitude is not emptiness, it's concentration. It's the forge where a mind becomes indestructible. Machiavelli lived much of his life in exile, stripped of position and status. Yet instead of collapsing, he transformed that isolation into clarity. In that quiet, He wrote The Prince, one of the most powerful analyses of human nature ever created. He turned rejection into reflection, and reflection into wisdom. That's what solitude offers, the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are without applause. Most men think they're strong because they can dominate a room, but strength is proven when the room disappears, when there's no audience, no encouragement, no reassurance, and you keep moving anyway. When you can stay committed without applause, focused without attention, unshaken without approval, that's when you become unbreakable. Solitude is where emotion is tamed and purpose becomes pure. In isolation, every insecurity surfaces. You see your fears, your weaknesses, your patterns of self-deception. Most flee from that confrontation. The Machiavellian mind embraces it, because once you've faced yourself fully, no one else can use your flaws against you. But solitude is not meant for retreat, it's meant for strategy. The unbreakable man uses isolation to think without influence, to reset without noise. He withdraws, not to escape, but to prepare. When he returns, he moves with precision, while others stumble, their minds clouded by constant noise. Machiavelli warned that rulers surrounded by too many voices become prisoners of their advisors. The same applies to you. Too much input dulls judgment. Too much dependence weakens instinct. Solitude restores both. It strips away false needs and forces clarity. It teaches you to trust your own reasoning again. Most fear solitude because they confuse it with loneliness. But loneliness is the absence of others. Solitude is the presence of self. When you can sit in silence and feel complete, you have achieved something rare: independence from the world's emotional economy. You no longer trade attention for validation. You no longer sell your peace for company. Spend time alone, not scrolling, not numbing, but thinking. Write, read, plan, or simply observe your own thoughts. Learn to be still. The longer you stay, the more you'll notice how noise has been dulling your edge. Solitude sharpens it again. The world's greatest strategists, thinkers, and rulers all shared this trait. They cultivated isolation. They built mental fortresses where no opinion could sway them, because in solitude, power consolidates. Focus returns. Identity hardens. The weak fills silence with distraction. The unbreakable uses it as discipline. When you no longer fear being alone, you stop being manipulated by fear of abandonment. When you no longer crave attention, you stop performing for it. And when you no longer need the crowd, you finally become the kind of man the crowd follows. Solitude is not withdrawal from power. It is its foundation. The man who can stand alone can stand against anything. Every storm ends, but not everyone survives it. The weak collapse before the sun returns, while the unbreakable endure every wave with silent defiance. Endurance is not about waiting, it's about remaining unmoved, while time and chaos test your will. Machiavelli saw endurance as the hidden virtue that separates rulers from victims, because the one who can outlast pain, boredom, resistance, or defeat eventually owns everything left standing. Endurance begins with mindset. Most people break because they mistake discomfort for danger. The moment they feel pressure, they panic. The moment the reward isn't immediate, they quit. Their emotions rule their patience. The unbreakable man reverses this. He treats difficulty as normal, obstacles as data, and time as an ally. Machiavelli wrote that fortune is like a river. It floods and destroys those who fail to prepare for its rise. Endurance is that preparation. It is not about being emotionless, it's about being relentless. You may bend, you may ache, but you never stop moving. The unbreakable man knows that suffering is temporary, but the discipline forged through it is permanent. Every test in life comes with a choice: react or resist. When the plan fails, when betrayal cuts deep, when progress halts, you can either feed the chaos or outlast it. Most will feed it, trapped in cycles of emotion and exhaustion. But the Machiavellian mind remains still, conserving energy, watching the storm spend itself. He knows that time destroys the reckless and rewards the patient. To endure, you must detach from outcomes. The impatient man demands results. The disciplined man demands consistency. He focuses on process, not payoff. Because results belong to fortune, but effort belongs to you. That's why endurance is power. No one can take it from you. You can be outnumbered, outspent, outpraised, but if you refuse to break, victory becomes a matter of time. Machiavelli's greatest insight into human nature was this: most people are strong until tested. Their confidence lasts as long as comfort. Their conviction survives only as long as it's easy. The unbreakable man doesn't rely on comfort. He builds his strength in friction, his confidence in struggle, his calm in chaos. The harder things get, the clearer his purpose becomes. Endurance doesn't mean passivity. It means maintaining motion when progress seems invisible. It means waking up and doing the work no one sees, no one praises, no one believes will matter until it does. The unbreakable understand that the world belongs to those who persist quietly long after everyone else has stopped trying. The strongest walls are not the tallest, they're the ones that have survived the most storms. Each crack, each scar, each mark is proof of endurance, not weakness. And so it is with the mind. Every hardship endured without surrender strengthens the structure of who you are. In time, endurance becomes your reputation. People begin to sense that nothing shakes you, that no insult, no delay, no defeat can drag you down. They fear your patience more than your aggression. They learn that while they burn out trying to destroy you, you are simply waiting for their energy to fade. That is the essence of endurance. You don't need to be the fastest or the loudest. You only need to be the last one standing.